Hi, Chigozie. Welcome to Only 5 Minutes, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Africa has enormous green hydrogen potential. How do you rate the current state of development?
You're right. Africa has huge potentials for green hydrogen development, and this is as a result of huge potentials for renewable energies, solar, wind, hydro, but also geothermal. And as a result of this, in abundance and also certain resources like land, and also good locations and geographical advantage, Africa has that advantage to produce large-scale green hydrogen, but also smaller scales, depending on what countries' potential plans are. And I think that because of this, Africa has a lot of potentials to produce hydrogen for domestic use and export.
And on a national scale, where are you seeing the most promise in terms of projects?
A number of countries are currently seeing a lot of development, countries like Namibia, South Africa, Morocco, Mauritania, but also some other countries have huge plans like Kenya, and other countries as well who are thinking about this, and all of them are thinking for different uses. Some of them for domestic and export, some of them for ammonia production, for electricity production, and for transportation for export. So there are different motives to which each of these countries go into the production of hydrogen.
I understand there's a lot of foreign investment when it comes to green hydrogen projects in Africa, but what can you tell me about domestic investment and coordination?
A number of countries, there's an alliance called Green Hydrogen Alliance, which consists of 6 countries, Mauritania, Kenya, South Africa, Namibia, Morocco, and Egypt, and they all come together to agree that they can share ideas and also share best know-hows in their approach to green hydrogen. And I think that's a very good move, because this will allow them to move faster and also to cooperate in construction of projects when this is called for.
How can we be sure that green hydrogen won't become just another exploited African resource?
This is very important in the production of green hydrogen, that sustainability standards are very well adhered to, environment, social, and economic, and that the production of green hydrogen does not introduce a new burden in the countries of production, knowing fully well and being fully aware of the water risks that is potentially the case. And so solving some things like this with desalination, for instance, making sure that the processes of participation of the communities are well done, that there are no conflicts in terms of land acquisition, and to make sure that the production of green hydrogen adheres to the additionality principle, that makes sure that the pursuit of green hydrogen does not conflict with ongoing pursuit for renewable and sustainable energy access in these African countries.
Is it fair then to say that the race for green hydrogen will drive PV uptake?
The production of green hydrogen starts with the production of renewable energies, electricity. So, of course, there has to be huge plants. I think the projects that are currently ongoing, for instance, the one in Namibia, very well includes this, that electricity is also generated from these sources, electricity that can then be used, transmitted into the national grid to improve electricity access. So these green hydrogen projects have the potential of also increasing electricity access, increasing water access through desalination, if well planned. And so by so doing, and all of these things are contained in the additionality principle that I've just mentioned earlier.
What will unlock green hydrogen in Africa? Will it be partnerships, interconnectors to Europe?
Partnerships will play a major role in this green hydrogen pursuits in Africa, because there has to be, especially when it comes to demand of the hydrogen. Of course, most of this demand may come from Europe, in addition, in line with their decarbonization principles. As the cost of green hydrogen also reduces, further demand will also increase as a result of decrease in price of green hydrogen. And of course, all corporations in terms of research, in terms of foreign direct investment, in terms of cooperation and collaboration, would drive further the hybrid green hydrogen pursuit, and would even see it drive further than we are seeing it now.
Chigozie Nweke-Eze, thank you very much for your time. I'll give you the last word.
I think green hydrogen pursuit in Africa is ongoing, and I think that it will continue with this momentum. And it's highly important that as we are looking at it and pursuing it, that we are also highly careful about sustainability principles that are also embedded, as we also look at the vast potentials that this brings to the decarbonization, and also economic development in African countries. Thank you.